Welcome back to another stream. Today, I am ranking every single Gen 1 Pokemon with my close friend and moderator on the channel, Shade. Say what up.
Yo, what's happening, everybody?
We're gonna do this based solely on our own opinions. If we have an issue with the other one's opinions, we're gonna find some middle ground and put it somewhere in between. But
Compromise.
yeah, pretty much.
His king, my friend.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, but yeah, you can see everything okay, right?
Yep.
All right. Um, for some reason, I'm not allowed to see my chat. That's something I can worry about afterwards. It looks like everything else in the stream is good.
Yeah. So, do you want to start with the starters and then move around, or?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think that's a good idea. Um, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to rank final evolution of the starters, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, at
For sure.
least. Let's start with Charizard then. The everybody thinks is overrated, but has a sweet spot in everybody's heart too. You know what I
That is
mean?
true. I mean, if we're talking about builds as well, he is a special attacking powerhouse with his dragon type moves and his fire type moves and flame burst and flame thrower.
Yep, and he can even be versatile because he gets pretty much he has good attack too, right underneath that special attack, but plus he's got, access to, I'm pretty sure he's got access to pretty much all the elemental punches, except for ice punch cuz fire type.
Yeah.
Um but I know he gets fire punch and a bunch of other like close combat and stuff like that, and yeah, he can be a powerhouse sometimes if used right. Um, he does have some decent weaknesses. Times 4 weakness to water, obviously, and times 4 to electric because he's part flying.
Yes, and for that, I'd agree with where you're hovering and put him in an A rank category because he's crazy, but he's not like the craziest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Uh, let's go to Venusaur because I got a lot of opinions on him. He's really good with utility, like making like hacks, paralyzing, poisoning, um,
For sure, he has
putting
a
to
lot of
sleep.
status effects.
He can get his defense up enough that he can just sit there and tank, but I realistically think it comes down to the fact that he just is underwhelming when it comes to the other two.
I agree completely. He will deal all sorts of damage over time effects, but he just doesn't have enough output with those effects,
That's
even if he's super tanky.
right. That's what I'm saying. So
100% agree.
we're looking at C.
I'd, I'd put him in B here specifically because those status effects do plenty, especially for the beginning portion of the game. I mean, I know we're not talking about his pre-evolutions, but even still,
Right.
just building him properly can definitely keep you in a safe place. And if you're swapping Pokemon around efficiently with these like paralysis type moves as well as poison type moves, you can use him as a good stunner in the first slot and then swap around to another position afterwards.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I agree.
And lastly but not leastly,
Blastoisian. Uh,
ugh,
he's great, especially at if we're talking about him overall, especially throughout the years, he's gotten some extreme buffs, and I mean, you get a couple of moves off just the right timing, he can sweep some teams. But naturally, he's
for
water,
sure.
so he's got a lot of drawbacks from that. quad weak to ground, quad weak to electric, uh, and more just like regular weaknesses as well. Um,
He is very much an
I mean,
OPPO
not
kind of
ground,
Pokemon.
rock.
If you're not one tapping on the first shot, then you're not playing Blastoise correctly, if you ask me.
Right, exactly. So I think he's still in B, but I think he's above Venusaur.
Mm,
At
I
this
mean,
moment.
I'd compare him equally to Charizard, if I'm being honest. The same two quad weaknesses can either be built into a high physical attacker or special attacker, but has better defense, in all honesty.
Right, right.
It really
Yeah.
just depends on what nature you end up getting lucky with. I mean, I guess the same could be said about a lot of the Pokemon we'll be rating today, but
Right, exactly. Then I would say we could do the pre-evolutions of them kind of like all at once there,
mm-hmm.
because they kind of got the same value when it comes down to it. But realistically, the worst part, unpopular opinion, I think, Squirtle's a D.
Oh yeah, starting D tier easily.
Cause
I put Charmander in a C and a Bulbasaur in like a D tier generously.
yeah, that's like where I'm at with that too. But then we get to and again, my opinion, Charmander. I mean Charmeleon. I mean Charmander. Freaking
No Charmeleon, you had it right.
yeah, I know. My fucking brain's dying. I have a Charmeleon in my wheel lock right now too, and my brain does it every time.
Too much Charmeleon.
Yeah. Uh he's a tank. This
Yeah,
is
and he's got great stab at physical attack moves.
yeah, I was gonna say this is when like he actually starts getting some good moves. He receives Dragon Rage at this stage, and Dragon Rage, I mean, is an auto 40 hit points. So,
yeah, beginning of the game carry move.
oh yeah, if you can get him to, I mean, it's just level 16 to get to this evolution, and I believe he learns Dragon Rage at like 18 or something. I mean, it's
20,
just
I believe.
the next couple is gonna be it's just the next two gyms are pretty much handled by it. I mean, the third gym they start being over 40, but I mean it's still two hit taps. You know, I'm thinking like B.
Easily.
Wartortle.
Follow, I'd probably.
What were you gonna say?
Sorry, I was gonna say I'd probably follow with Wartortle being in a C tier.
Yeah, because he does get upgraded, and that's when he starts getting his defense. But there's not much to say about him, like, to overall gestures there.
Yeah.
Ivysaur.
Unfortunately, I'd probably still put Ivysaur in a D tier.
Yeah, I mean that line doesn't really get great until Venusaur, and then I mean, Mega Evolutions make those all different, but those are a whole different thing.
Sure.
Now we get the
The
bugs.
reason Mega Evolutions didn't happen until way later.
Right, exactly. Now we got the forest bugs, you know? I really like both of these lines. As much as Butterfree's frail, again, she has, or he, whatever gender you get, they have the same utility as Venusaur, but at the same time has the speed to back it up.
Yeah.
Or at least more
Butterfree
speed than
gets
Venusaur.
D tier. Pretty much everything else except for Beedrill, if you ask me, would be an F tier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fully there with that because String Shot and Harden is pretty much all you're at with that, and some tackles.
Yep.
Um,
Swamp Level and Kakuna until you can hit something decent is the grindiest and worst feeling. And I agree with the Beedrill placement. It's definitely a B tier, especially early on.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean just the upgrades it gets throughout the years, it really ends up standing out more amongst the first route bugs, um,
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Uh,
Especially if you can just catch one straight and you don't have to evolve it.
exactly, exactly. Now we got the birds. I was always a big fan of the Pidgey line. It,
I like the Pidgeotto, the second tier, right?
yeah, that's this right here, yeah. Because
Yeah,
it's
the Pidgeotto
Pidgey,
is one of my
Pidgeotto,
favorite
and
second
Pidgeot.
tier. Ah,
But I mean, yeah, they. I mean, generally speaking, I mean, I'd still throw Pidgey here, but he gets put to Pidgeotto so fast. I think it's like level 14.
mm-hmm.
Um, it just, it's kind of a minuscule neg, so that's why I put him in D instead of like F.
Agreed.
Um, and he also doesn't have enough time to shine, so there's no reason to put him in C. Pidgeotto, though, he helps you get through that big bulk of middle ground of that game. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a solid C above the two starter placements.
I'd agree with that.
And then Pidgeot, pretty solid.
I'd compare him. I'd probably keep him in C tier if I'm being honest. He is very solid, but he gets like minuscule upgrades compared to Pidgeotto.
I mean, I'm with you on that,
Some speed and some attack for sure.
but he's definitely an Elite Four Mon, in my opinion. At least for first gen. But
I mean, yeah, it really depends on how you build him.
da, 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 da. We got the rat.
Oh, the rat S tier, first one of the show so far.
I mean,
Uh,
realistically, Rattata is a low D.
very low D.
Rattata can make it happen. It's just, it has to be built right and with the right nature. It
Yeah.
can make some good use out of those biting moves, and that's all it's. I mean, it's got some bulk. The other bird, Sparrow.
What's its evolved form? I forget.
Pharaoh. It's just
Hero
these
and
two.
Sparrow? What?
Sparrow and Pharaoh.
Hero, okay. I'd probably give them both a C tier, but below, like, the Pidgey and Pidgeot.
I mean,
Same builds, just, I feel like a little bit worse usually.
I think we're like right there with that.
I definitely agree. They do the same thing as the other bird, just not as well.
Exactly.
And not as cool because it only gets one evolution.
Right. Next, we got the backwards boys. Because Ekans backwards spells snake, and Arbok backwards spells cobra.
Yep, most creative Pokemon
Oh, yeah.
in the whole gen.
Oh, yeah. Again, with Ekans, I have to go D. But
Yeah.
I think he's above the birds in D.
Above the birds, below the Venusaur because it doesn't have the same utility, but it starts to get it.
Right. And then Arbok I would place above these guys.
Yeah.
And that's just based off of pure... He can tank a lot of stuff, and his ability to toxic and actually drain them is actually pretty good. His poison moves are quite reliable most times.
And
Alright.
now we got
Iconic. Icon. The boy. I wish I could have my own.
also in first gen had the ability to just absolutely like roll a whole team with good nature and
Oh,
good build.
yep, absolutely.
Easily,
I mean,
easily the first S tier.
I agree. I personally agree. Um, and I like Alolan Raichu so much more than regular Raichu. I have to be honest here. The addition of the psychic, um, psychic typing. I almost said ability was just so clutch. But Raichu himself, he could be a powerhouse, but I only think he's a B tier powerhouse.
Which is ironic because Pikachu keeps what better speed stats and higher special attack than Raichu.
Yeah, and all around,
Goes
if
on to be a physical attacker.
yeah, and all around, if you get the held item from Pikachu, the light ball, it ends up just being better. But I do think he's above these two in B rank.
For sure.
Welcome in, welcome in. I wish my stream would show me my chat right now. Let me reload it. I hope I didn't just break my stream. I think I just broke my stream. I didn't break it. Okay. It still won't let me see the chat.
Oh, yeah. Strange.
Yeah, it's kind of rude, honestly. It just says something went wrong in that section. Oh no, I did just screw up my stream.
I'm looking at it right now on YouTube.
Nope, nope, nope. Okay. I'm just somehow out of my studio mode. Next is Sandslash. I mean Sandshrew and Sandslash. Oh, shiznizzle. Why? Okay, I'm back to my thing. It still won't show me the chat, but that's fine.
Yep. I just saw you reload the stream. I don't see anything in chat.
Okay. That is fine then. Alright. I mean, again, he's with all the other baby Pokemon, in my opinion. He's just better than those three. Do you agree?
Who are you talking about?
Sandshrew?
Oh, Sandshrew. Yeah, I mean, he's alright. He's definitely... I'd probably put him in like a C tier, maybe a D tier.
Yeah, I have him in mid D tier.
Sandslash, on the other hand, solid C tier.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like up here, C tier. Now we got the Nidoqueen and Nidoking lines. Outright, I have to say both Nidoqueen and Nidoking are high Bs.
If 100%.
If not low A.
In my opinion, are Elite Four Pokemon.
Absolutely. I would even say like they're branching low A. So I'm gonna throw them in A just so that they sit at like the bottom of A. But now Nidorina and Nidoran, I think I just did those wrong, but they're
in my opinion, D and C Pokemon respectively.
Exactly. I think we have here and here, and then these guys get here and here. Actually, she would be like here.
Just because the male typing has better attack stats usually.
Yeah, he's got a little bit better defense at that stage and everything. He's just got a little bit more survivability. Oh, Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. No even need to ask.
And this is like high F just because it has defense. I love me my Vulpix, and
Vulpix is really cool, but not very good.
I think she's just high D. Where Ninetales gets put low B, honestly, because Ninetales ends up cooking with its ability and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ends up
Is it
being
like Spirit Fire or something?
it's I believe it's Flash Fire, so it powers up Fire type moves and something something something.
Yeah.
I don't actually remember off the top of my head.
Is Snorlax in this gen as well?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
Best boy. Favorite Pokemon, hands down.
Um, where does it say it? Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, Flash Fire prevents Ninetales from being attacked by fire type moves and also boosts the fire type moves it uses. Um,
Yeah.
Jigglypuff, it can put things to sleep.
C tier, probably like mid C.
Boom.
Because it's cute and because it can make things sleep.
Yep.
You can build it a lot like Snorlax in that same way where you can give it like yawn and snore and all that fun stuff.
Right. Now, Igglybuff, I honestly think it's lower than Jiggly here.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a C tier, just not as good.
Yeah,
It's also
exactly.
not as cute. It's got that weird ass hair.
Now we have Zubat and Golbat. Unfortunately, Crobat's not in this gen, or else it'd already be better. Zubat
Mm.
is F tier.
Yeah, agreed. I'd probably put Golbat at like D tier, maybe high F tier.
Yeah, I'm putting him. Well, I definitely think Golbat's better than those guys, so low D tier. The Oddish line. Now, Gloom, they've come very handy. The entire line, even Oddish, as long as you're not up against a fire type, I mean, Oddish can usually get Pokemon to sleep and give you that second to switch out and just steamroll.
Yeah, sleeping and poison are very effective with the Oddish Gloom line.
Exactly. So I'm thinking he's up here. Oddish is up here with the starters, baby starters, where Gloom gets put above Jigglypuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Vileplume is up here with Sandslash.
Yeah, for sure.
Paris and Parasect.
I was never really big fans of this line of Pokemon, but I do respect the amount of ground moves that they can learn.
Yeah, I'm with that. I respectfully, it's low D. It's hard to put him in F. It's hard not to put him in F, but at the same time, if you can't get your hands on an Oddish for some reason, Paris is a decent backup for a second.
For sure. I'd put Parasect probably in D here as well, but like around Oddish, maybe.
Yeah. Uh, Now we got Venonat and Venomoth. Venomoth's great. Venonat sucks. Just personal opinion.
Venonat is easily an F tier.
I agree.
But Venomoth, probably like a low C.
Yeah, I think she's pushing like
comparable to Vileplume. Is that his name?
Vileplume.
No,
This one's Gloom. Yeah, I think definitely. Diglett and Doug Trio. Now, they're some of the better ground types in the game, but Diglett's still a D tier. He's just at that oddish
he's
range.
definitely a higher B tier though.
Yeah. And Doug Trio, I think, sits right here.
High Charmander for sure, but above the rest.
Yeah. Meowth and Persian. I mean, Meowth, that's right. Like, come on. Both of them are iconic.
Yes, I completely agree.
Now,
I just wish that he were better.
I agree. In the terms of everything else, Meowth for me is like sitting here.
I'd agree with that for sure.
Persian, on the other hand, with Slash, Fake Out, and I believe it can learn a Rock type move, a couple of other good things. I think it belongs above the creepy bird, even.
I definitely agree. The weird bird does not sit higher than the cool cat.
I even think the cool cat sits higher than the 3 heads.
3 nubs.
Yeah.
Out of the dirt. Yep.
Yeah, I'm with that. Now we got Golduck and Psyduck.
Golduck is stupidly cool.
Yeah.
And a really good psychic water type Pokemon.
He was notoriously my Surfmon back in those days, usually. So he was always around and could use Ice Beam. Unfortunately, when it comes down to it, I mean, a Psyduck is an F tier, in my opinion.
Yes.
He's above everybody else there, for sure.
Unless you like Bubble.
Right. But Golduck's... Honestly, Golduck's better than Wartortle.
Oh, for sure.
And I even...
Definitely better than the weird bird and the Jigglypuff, too.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there because I believe a Gloom could take on a Golduck, honestly.
Oh,
Just
for sure.
pops him to sleep and then uses Mega Drain a couple times. It's good.
Game over, man.
Mankey and Primeape. Okay, these guys are amazing, especially because they finally got the 3rd evolution they deserved in, I think that was Gen 9, actually, this new gen. And he's amazing.
What did he evolve into?
It's called Annihilate. He's a ghost. Yeah, he's a ghost fighting type. He's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. He has like his own.
Fighting seems like a busted line too.
Yeah, he's pretty nice. Mankey though, he's a solid stage 1 Pokemon.
I would personally qualify him to go up against like a Squirtle or a Venusaur.
That's what I was saying. I was even pushing like above Raticate.
I'd agree with that. He could probably take on a Wartortle.
Right? Just like right here. Now, Primeape is another B tier.
I was B tier.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and I think
B-tier, huh?
Yeah, I think he's B tier, and I think he's the problem I'm having here. I think I know the problem I'm having. I personally think Ninetales would end up being better than the Bugs because of a flamethrower would just procced at the right time would and I think Primeape could handle the Beedrill but not the Butterfree because Butterfree's just gonna put him to sleep and get the hell out of there. But I don't know. I don't know.
No, I agree with what you're saying for sure.
Now the good boys.
Well, the best boys.
The best boys. I mean, easy C tier, right? I think like what stops Growlithe would be the Wartortle. The Wartortle would just one shot it with Water Gun. Now that being said, Growlithe
Another B tier, probably.
better than Ninetales
Definitely better than Ninetales.
because you get the crunch, you get Fire Fang, you get. I believe he also learns Thunder Fang, and you know he just gets versatility versus Ninetales is pretty much stuck to fire.
Yeah. He's a powerhouse of a fire type. But if you want more versatility and across the board damage, then you want to go with.
I agree. And now that I'm even like looking at it, he's probably better than second stage. When it comes down to a fire type, at this point you would want him to be a Charizard, or else you would start falling off. The Poliwag line.
Classic.
Very classic, and very lackluster, this first one. But then...
definitely a little weak.
Yeah.
When he gets to second, third stages, it beefs up a lot.
I'm thinking he's sitting low D.
Mm-hmm.
He's sitting very low C. Like, he could be, like, slipping off of his chair into D.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then, I think we're looking at high C.
Yeah. I mean, I would compare Poliwhirl with my favorite juice, so...
Poliwrath.
Poliwrath?
Yeah, this one's Whirl.
Hmm.
Yeah, he just has the Whirl. He's angry.
That makes so much sense.
And this is Poliwag, because he looks like a tadpole.
He's got a tail that he can wag, I don't know.
Okay, so the Abra line is amazing. My friggin' problem with it, and I am putting Abra in F tier, because
He deserves it.
because he's so damn hard to catch. He just teleports. If you don't catch him in one ball, he's gone. And I mean, that puts him at the bottom of the list for me. He's just too hard to get on your team unless you have like an Ultra Ball. Or a way to lock him in. And usually when you first encounter him, you don't have a Pokemon that has like Mean Look or something and can lock him in, or an Arena Trap Mon. I guess if you have a Diglett already, you got an Arena Trap Mon, but I think he has Arena Trap.
Also, even if you do catch him, he usually only has teleport, so you still have to switch level him.
Exactly. But he gets such an amazing buff, just in the form of Kadabra. And I think we're looking at... I don't...
No, I'd agree with that for sure.
And then Alakazam's an endgame on. I don't know why you can't see it. There it is.
I put him into a high B tier for sure.
Yeah.
Above
I mean...
Venusaur, but...
Right? I mean, exactly. Because, like, when it gets to that point, right? I mean, in order to get an Alakazam, you have to trade, right? So...
I believe so.
Sorry, just answering text. Yeah, I mean, and like you have to trade to get them. So if you don't have a nice friend that'll trade it back, or you don't have any friends that play Pokemon, I mean, you could never see Alakazam.
That is true.
The Machop line.
I mean, pretty badass Pokemon across the board. I'd put Machop into like a C tier. I do have a special place in my heart for fighting type Pokemon, though.
I'm with you on that one. I would argue that Machoke goes to like low B and Machamp's high B.
I'd agree with that for sure.
It won't let me. There we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Bellsprout line.
Well, this is another hard one because I put Bellsprout at like an F tier Pokemon.
Right.
But then his evolutions are probably like a D and C respectively.
I'm with you on that. Kind of like this, and maybe more like this. No, this.
Yeah.
All right. Tentacool and Tentacruel. Now, Tentacool, I would say he's down here with the baby Pokemon in D, but I think he's above Snake.
Yes.
And then Tentacruel, I would say he's probably our first low B tier water type.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
He's
It
just
does work.
yeah, and he
He's
just
certainly a powerhouse.
exactly.
He just gets outclassed.
Exactly. So now we got Geodude and Graveler. Couldn't remember his name for a second. And Golem. I feel like they try to force this line on you too much. Right?
Yeah, I mean they're everywhere.
Exactly. I think all in all, when you need Rock Smash early game, I guess so. Or Rock Smash user, I guess so. But still low D for me. Maybe above Paris and Poliwag and Rattata.
Yeah, I'd probably put him behind Sandslash or Sandshrew.
Boom. Yeah, I'm with you. Graveler stays in D, but he's like up here now.
Yeah, I'd rather have the Ivysaur than a Graveler for sure, but
Right. And then I would say Golem above the Rat in low C.
Yeah, I'd still put him behind the Arcanine, if anything.
The Growlithe here, yeah, for sure.
Growlithe, that one. Sorry.
No, you're good. Oh, we're almost done. Look at this.
You got a...
Look at how fast 151. I mean, yeah.
I'm surprised to see that Lucario wasn't introduced in this gen.
No, Lucario was Gen 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got Rapidash and Ponyta. Ponyta and Rapidasho.
They're both kind of C tier Pokemon to me.
I'm with you on that. Ponyta's low C tier, but I think Rapidash has got to be like sitting like here.
I'd put it behind Charmander personally.
All right, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Also because I'd rather have a Charmander in my party than a Rapidash, but it still outclasses all the Pokemon behind it.
I feel that. Slowpoke and Slowbro.
I'd say D tier for a Slowpoke.
I agree, but I think it's like here.
Yeah. And isn't the Slowbro something you can only get by like trading or something?
I don't remember in Gen 1, but at this point he has like several branched evolutions too, I believe, so. But I still think he's low C above Rat.
Yeah, I mean, he could probably whoop the Golem's ass.
Oh, yeah, too, true. I'm with that. Alright. Magnemite and Magneton. Because Magnezone wasn't introduced till Gen 4 as well.
Yeah. Kind of looking at like B and C tier here.
That's what I'm thinking, but at this point, like, this is where I'm at with D tier with this one, because, I mean, Thundershock, basically just Thundershock.
Across the board, yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, there's some things in there that'll resist it, and like won't, but like there's other ways to get around it. But C tier for sure, and I mean I think we're looking at the first thing that would stump it. I think we get here because Doug Trio just absolutely stumps a Magneton. It's just gonna keep digging underground, and ground's quad weak against electric, so. Far-fetched. Personal opinion, F.
Agreed.
I'll throw him in front of the bugs though because he still has sub utility.
Eat the bugs, but he'd get punked by everything else.
Yeah. Dodrio honestly would eat everything up to here.
I'd agree with that.
He would scare off the Sandshrew because it's an armadillo that would just roll up and end up getting pushed away like a roly-poly. But Dodrio, now he has some, he can learn some moves, man. He's still not great, but I think he's better than a Firo. So I think we're looking like here.
Ooh, middle of the road Z.
I mean, he might be even higher, but I know that, like, I just started, like, he definitely beats this bird.
He definitely smokes that bird.
I mean, at that point, too.
Too.
I was gonna say, I even think maybe he would end up smoking till about here.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Probably get poisoned by her, and then just downfall from there. Seal and Dugong, I think. I don't know. Seal and Sfeel? I don't know.
Seal and Sfeel.
Right. I think they're both D tier.
Agreed. I think Sfeel is... That's the older one or the younger one?
I think Sfeel is the younger one, and this is the older one, and this is the Seal. I don't know which one's which, honestly. I don't know.
Okay.
My brain's not firing.
The older evolution is the better one, so it should be higher ranked in the D tier.
Agree, and I think it could probably take itself to here.
Yeah.
Grimer and Muck.
Grimer I'd probably put at like a C tier, and then Muck higher C tier, I guess. I like poison types a lot.
I do too.
As well as ghost types.
I think we'd get stuck here because the electric steel type, Steel's immune to poison, so
true.
Probably find a way to get stumped there. Shelder and Cloyster.
More cool water type Pokemon.
I think Shelder's probably high D.
Yeah.
Probably here.
Yeah. Right there with his boy, Slowpoke.
Right, getting ready to eat his tail. And then Cloyster, honestly, probably sitting right there next to Slowbro.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that setup. And now we have some of my favorite.
Oh yeah. Again, can't really get the last one without a trade, but still cooking. And I don't think any of them are below C here. I think honestly Ghastly gets high C.
Yeah, probably the highest C that he could get.
Yeah, right here. Haunter gets high Bs. Maybe
high
even
Bs for sure. Gengar.
I think Gengar is another S tier, man.
I completely agree with that. Gengar is an S tier Pokemon.
I think that's where that's at.
Yeah.
Onyx. C.
That's another solid B tier
B?
Pokemon.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
low
yeah.
end.
Low, low, low. Because he doesn't get Steelix evolution until Gen 2, so.
Yeah. He's just got
Drowsy.
really good defense and high attack, so you
Right.
could run him towards late game. It's just you gotta
Yeah, you
really
gotta
stick
make
with
sure you bury up correctly and everything.
it.
Um, Drowsy and Hypno.
They have similar places in my heart to um, Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm with that. I would say honestly, Drowsy is probably sitting like somewhere with Sandslash,
Yeah, I'd say.
and then Hypno might even be sitting with Kadabra, just behind him,
Yeah,
because Kadabra
for sure.
outclasses.
Not as good.
Uh, Krabby and Kingler.
Krabby is like a high D Pokemon in my opinion, whereas Kingler is like a solid
Right.
like C.
Yeah, I'm with that. He's definitely like, I think he's sitting above Cat.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the cat could probably fuck it up, but
Yeah, it'd be like a battle of will. Um, Voltorb and Electrode. I mean, personal
my
opinion.
favorite bombs.
Yeah, I was gonna say low C. This one's I think honestly just like sitting here. Electrode's where it's at with the explosion because he does more damage with it. And I'd say he's low C.
Yeah.
I'd say
And
above the rat.
specifically because of the fact that you can just nuke high level Pokemon with it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Execute and Executor.
Good grass type Pokemon. I feel like Executor is probably like a low B tier. Maybe high C.
Executor.
Yeah. Just because he has more versatility with like Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, and
I'm with that.
grass type moves.
I'll put him high C behind Ghastly, and then Execute's probably like here.
I definitely agree with that.
So we got Marowak and Cubo next.
Oh, poor guy.
Oh, I'm echoing a bit off you.
Are you?
I think it stopped, but we're good.
Okay.
Yeah, poor guy. But high D.
High D for sure.
Maybe. And then
Better than both.
Marowak. I mean, I might even say low B.
I'd agree with low B. What's it called? There's like a couple of Marowak specific moves that's like a throw the bone and it hits for like 3 times, and then just a rapid swinging attack that can hit up to 5 times.
Right, exactly.
Just good versatility for its ground typing.
Hitmonlee and Hitmon.
Jam.
Yes. Great fighting types, but I don't think they're better than Machoke.
I'd agree with that.
But I do think they'd probably be sitting low B. Maybe even rotating high C.
Yeah, I'd say high C is probably more accurate.
Ah, cursed.
Oh, the big tongue.
Boom.
He's just getting in there.
He's just F tier. This isn't up for discussion.
It's so good.
I
I have no qualms with this placement.
Coughing and Wheezing.
2 poison types, 2 wonderful Pokemon.
I would say Coughing's low C, and then
Yeah, I'd agree.
Wheezing is like high C, like
Yeah.
above the bird, behind the fighters.
Um. Yeah, I'd agree with that. He doesn't have as much versatility as like Executor or Ghastly,
Right.
so
It's right on and Rhyhorn.
these are two really good Pokemon
They
here.
are. Absolutely, I absolutely agree. I would even go as far to say as Rhydon's a high C,
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
but I think he's with the birds. You agree?
I definitely agree.
Um, Rhyhorn,
Low B, comparable to Onyx, easily.
yeah, absolutely. Chansey, Blissey, Chansey.
That's Chansey. Blissey is another gen.
Yeah, Chansey's good too. Blissey's just a friggin' tank,
Yeah.
a special defense tank. Chansey is too. He's just not as great, but you get an Eviolite on. Oh well, actually, in this gen, Eviolite wouldn't really matter because he doesn't have an evolution. But future gens, Eviolite on this, easily mid C. But
Yeah, but in first gen, I'd probably put him like low C or a high B.
yeah, I'm going low C. That special defense is still high. Tangela. I mean D, right?
Yeah. Around the Ivysaur does essentially the same thing that an Ivysaur does.
Kangaskhan.
Ooh, beats your Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and I'm
100%.
thinking like here. Maybe
I'd
higher.
agree with that.
No, yeah, here.
Honestly, I think it smokes the B.
I do too. I do too. I even think there. Yeah, I think there.
Yeah.
That's perfect. What's up? What's up? We are almost done here, man. We got Seadra and
Yeah.
Horsey next. I am so mad that I can't see my chat.
I can see your chat.
Is there any?
There's nobody here. I believe the one watching right now is me.
Okay. I just get like,
Sometimes creating an ad campaign
you know.
can feel like you're
I do.
Seadra is high D.
Spotify can help your business
I think
Yeah.
like highest D right now. And then
create new audio ads from scratch or
Kingdra.
Kinder's probably like high C, mid C.
Or sorry, that was Horsey and Seadra. Kingdra comes along in Gen
learn more at
3.
ads.spotify.com.
But
Right.
still mid C for sure, right? Like maybe high.
Probably behind the Krabby, maybe next to it.
I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
I think they're like same tier. Like they're like on the same level. He's not technically in front of them. They're on the same podium. Goldeen and Sea King.
Oh yeah, that's a easy F tier for Goldeen.
I think he's better than a Psyduck though. So I mean a Golduck. So we're gonna put him there.
I'll give you that.
Sea King I think is like here on the D tier. Honestly,
I'd rather do the Magikarp into.
Gyarados, which I mean is fine because he evolves pretty fast there.
What's it like, level 16 or something?
It might be. I don't know what it is in early gens, but now it's like level 10.
Ooh.
We got Staryu and Starmie, which awesome water Pokemon. So Staryu I think is high D.
Oh yeah, Misty was onto something here.
Right. I think it's honestly a better water type than Horsey.
I have to agree with that too.
And Starmie, honestly, is low B.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Because I would rather have
Definitely
a
puts him low.
Starmie over a Poliwrath, even though Poliwrath's good.
I
Starmie is
also
just
agree with that.
bulky. Mr. Mime. You know, all memes aside, and this might be some copium, he's a high D.
I completely agree. He's a good psychic type Pokemon. He can do some fun stuff as well.
Scyther.
He is kind of a weirdo, but
Scyther is one of my favorite Pokemon. And the
I'll
fact
put
that...
Scyther into a low category.
I agree. And the fact that he doesn't get just one evolution future later on, he gets a split evolution when Legends Arceus came out. Oh, and Cleavor's great. Yeah, it's called Cleavor. He's friggin' awesome. He has this move called Stone Axe that I think it's like a 90% hit accuracy, but when it hits, it also sets up the spikes for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? So we're going low B with Scyther, you said?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm thinking above Onyx. I think like right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jinx.
We're starting to get into the better Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So I'm thinking that consistently they're going to be a bit higher now, but I also think that Jinx is a B tier Pokemon. Great ice type.
I'm with you. I'll go low B, though.
Mm-hmm.
Electabuzz. We could do these two together because they're kind of the same, just fire and electric. Electabuzz and Mag Mortar.
Yeah, I'd probably put them both in like a high B tier, maybe like, or sorry, a high C tier, maybe like a low B.
That's what I'm thinking. Like,
definitely better than a Ghastly.
I agree. Yeah, both of them. But which one's better, fire or electric?
I mean, it just
same podium.
Depends on what you ended up
honestly, playing. Yeah. Pinsir. Not a bad bug type for Gen 1.
Definitely not a bad bug type.
I think high C.
High C is agreed for sure.
Under Ghastly.
Below... Yeah.
But above Executor.
Mm-hmm.
Tauros. I mean, just...
I think Tauros could be a B tier Pokemon. It really just depends on
how you end up building him. I think, in all honesty, though, 90% of the time, he's going to end up built about right here.
To be a quality of his feet tier, I agree.
Yeah. Especially his normal types aren't going to beat that Ghastly, so... Magikarp, F.
F tier,
Can
sorry.
only learn Splash. I think they fixed that in newer gens so that he can at least learn Tackle, but still.
Yeah.
And Gyarados, though, is... We're sitting up in S. We're back up in S. I mean A. Sorry. I'm sitting in A and I'm talking S.
I was gonna say, Gyarados is an A tier for sure.
Yeah, I think he's above... I mean, he's gonna... I think... I mean, he would clear out these two because they're ground types. But then, I mean...
you're right. That's true.
I think then it's like a war of nutrition against the other two. And I mean, obviously, in a one-on-one battle, he would beat Charizard, but it's not all around based on that, you know what I mean?
It also depends on what kind of Charizard you build.
Exactly. Lapras. Once you get the Lapras in the Team Rocket place, man, frickin', he's my Surfmon. He's amazing. I mean, you don't have Surf yet until after that anyways, but I think he's B tier.
He's the Surfmon, the Waterfall Mon. They usually put an Ice Beam on him too.
He's easily high B, low A.
I'd classify Lapras as an A tier Pokemon.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Right behind Gyarados, actually. Maybe ahead of it, honestly.
I wouldn't put it ahead of it. Gyarados gets those dragon type moves.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, but Lapras is an ice type, which is 4x effective against dragon type.
Yes, but Gyarados isn't a dragon. He just gets dragon type moves.
Oh, I see.
I don't know if they... I know his Mega Evolution, I believe, is a dragon. But, again, that's a whole nother video.
Depends on what you're rating Ditto for. Are you saying, like, as a fighting type Pokemon, or are you saying as, like, just a Pokemon? Because
I think we have to look at him as just a Pokemon. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I think that would just place him high D.
Like a low D.
Or, yeah. Yeah, like...
You think high? You can do middle.
Yeah, let's just throw it... Boom.
Because depending on what you're fighting, he can definitely transform and get you a lot of cool shit, but...
Oh, yeah, for sure. The first evolutions. Now, Eevee, I think, is obviously better than a Ditto.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he falls short, like, right here. Maybe even...
Yeah. I'd rather have an Oddish in my party than I would.
Right.
Non-evolved Eevee.
9 times out of 10, you only have the Eevee because you're waiting for a stone, or you're, like, specifically trying to get its happiness up so it can do one of the later evolutions. But obviously, Gen 1, that doesn't matter. I think all 3 of them are B tier. I really do. Different spots.
Jolteon, I would put to A tier. That's my opinion, though.
Well, I'll throw it low A tier. I mean, it gets blocked out by the ground types immediately, so.
Mm-hmm. But its speed and its, like, stunning and effective moves,
yeah.
I think just puts him a cut above the rest of B tier for sure.
But I definitely think Vaporeon's a better water type than anything we have in B tier. Honestly, at the end of the day, its speed. That was like the curse of like Gen 1's water types was speed, really.
Mm-hmm.
And Flareon is like bottom of the line B. Actually, honestly, I'd throw him right here. Top of the line C, yeah. But behind Magmortar. Just because, again, that's speed. Right. We're coming down to the britches here. Porygon.
Can't say a whole lot about him. I never really used him in the original.
He's not really much. There's not really much to say. He gets a lot of weird moves. I mean, I would just throw him bottom D. Just because of lack of knowledge and the fact that, like, he really didn't do anything in Gen 1, my opinion. We have Omnistar and Oyster? Oh, whatever. Omnimite. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when it comes down to fossil Pokemon, this was one of this was not the one that most people grabbed. Everybody wanted Aerodactyl, and yeah, everybody wanted an Aerodactyl, which happened later on when you got the old Amber, and then, I mean, most people went Dome Fossil for Kabutops, because Kabutops is great.
Mm-hmm. Super cool Pokemon.
I think we're still sitting at D with the baby Pokemon, though, above Ditto.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And then,
both the baby Pokemon the same
Omnistar, I would honestly say, is like above Rat.
Behind Slowbro and Cloyster, I'd even say.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Kabuto and Kabutops. I mean, Kabuto is high D. I mean, mid D, actually, because honestly...
Right behind the Oyster dude. Because his starting form kind of is
Yeah.
terrible. But
But
once you evolve it, it's
Kabutops,
way cool.
we're sitting in B.
High B, easily.
And I'm thinking, like here.
Yeah.
Aerodactyl. Now this we're back up in A.
Yeah, I'd probably put him like towards the highest end of A tier.
Yeah, I think we're sitting here with that.
Yeah.
Right between Charizard and
He is an
Blastoise.
endgame Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, you slap him on the team right at the very end. I always used to think he was a legendary Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Slowbro.
Nope, Snorlax.
Snorlax. What did I say? I said Slowbro. I had a stroke, I guess.
Yeah. S tier Pokemon though. in my
Absolutely. I mean, no, I mean, yeah. Low S tier though, but absolutely. It's just the defense you can get out of them.
Yeah, stupid high defense. You can make things sleep forever. You can rest, yawn, snore. Just all sorts of across the board damage while your opponent is incapacitated. It takes forever, but you can stall a game for into oblivion.
Let's start with Dragonair and Dragonite.
Yeah, pseudo legendary.
Pseudo. I mean, we're looking low C for this.
Yeah, Dragonair is kind of meh.
I think we'll go there. But then we got...
Then Dratini.
No.
B tier, if you ask me.
Oh, this is Dragonair. The first one was Dratini.
My bad.
It's okay. My brain got him confused for a second. I think we're looking at above... Like, I think we're looking here. A nice clean B tier. With Dragonite coming in A. Like here.
I don't know. I'd rather have a Dragonite on my team than a Blastoise.
I mean, I don't disagree with you in that turn. Honestly, I think at that point, what we would... I think we're actually looking more like that then. With the Blastoise going down rather than them going up. Because the Gyarados and the Lapras will trash the Dragonite.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you're right.
Right.
Dragonite's better than Blastoise, so... Legendary birds. Okay.
Fan armies have squad goals.
I think we're looking at Articuno being in top B.
I'd agree with that for sure.
Zapdos above...
Zapdos is an A rank.
Yeah, above Blastoise.
Mm-hmm.
And then Moltres, I would even say is like right here.
I put it above the Needle King and Queen just because their ground types aren't effective because of Levitate, right?
I actually don't think
Or is that not a
Moltres
general
has...
thing?
it's not Levitate, but it's a flying type. So, I mean, at the same time, you are right. It would be above them for sure. And then, I mean, now we're at Mewtwo and Mew. We can start with Mew. Realistically, it can learn every single TM, basically. So that means it has the reliability upon it. And versatility. I'm thinking high A as well. I'm thinking, like, we're sitting, like, here. Even.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And then, I mean, I don't think we're going to have any arguments with our Mewtwo placement, right?
No.
I mean,
Mewtwo is the GOAT of Pokemon, probably one of the strongest I've ever built in any game.
yeah, absolutely. I once had a Mewtwo as my starter and an Emerald Soul, not Soul Link, an Emerald Nuzlocke, and it carried me like pretty much just by itself so far. I mean, it's still obviously it gets stumped, like natural defenses will stump it, but it's not usual.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But I mean,
Anything that's non-effective versus psychic.
I think I mean, I'm comfortable with that placements.
Yeah, I mean across the board, these are some pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, when it comes down to it, we're looking at, especially based on this rig, I mean, we have Elite Four Mons all the way to low B, you know what I mean? Even some of those high C tiers could help out in Elite Four.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good matchup on that. And I think yeah, I like that.
I think that's pretty fair too. We didn't really play too biased here. A lot of these were based on what we think is stronger than the others, not on it's cooler and we like it more. So
Right, absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, Gen 2, the Johto region's next. We'll do that on another one of your days off at some point. We'll do Gen 2. And I mean, yeah, this was great. I think it was a pretty logical list, if I do say so myself.
Mhm.
So but yeah. Alrighty guys, thank you guys for watching the stream. I'm gonna get out of here, and yeah, remember, if you're liking the content, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share it to everybody you know, and you guys have a great rest of your